CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. So today we are back with a bunch of topics to discuss. But before starting, I just want to convey a message to all of you that we have launched the Diwali offer. So if you want to avail the offers associated with our organization, you could kindly join the link given below. Both the WhatsApp group link as well as the Telegram group link is been given in the comment section below. So you can see the description list and can join the channel to get some of the various offers that we are providing in this festive season. Also, for our study materials, which is very free for you all, please do join so as to support your studies in the coming civil services. So let's start with today's analysis. So the first topic says about the global hunger index. So India is in serious category at a rank of 107 and the country ranks below Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh and even Pakistan. Okay? And Afghanistan is the only South Asian country that lags behind India in the listing. तो अगर मैं बोलूं about global hunger index, तो ये पहले 2021 में हम लोग 101 पोजीशन पे थे. So we could see that we slipped some around 6 positions to reach until 107. So this hunger index, which was jointly published by the Concerned Worldwide and World Hunger Life, we could see that it was first produced in 2006. And the 2022 edition makes the 17th edition of the Global Hunger Index. So what's the basic aim of this GHI, that is the Global Hunger Index? It is to comprehensively measure and track hunger at the global, regional and country levels. और इसका calculation किसके basis पे होता है? It is calculated on the basis of 4 indicators. पहला क्या है? Undernourishment. Second क्या है? Child wasting. Third क्या है? Child stunting. And fourth क्या है? Child mortality. तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे बोलूँ about undernourishment, तो ये क्या है? The share of the population with insufficient caloric intake. फिर child wasting क्या होता है? Share of the children under age 5 who have low weight for their height, reflecting acute undernutrition. Child stunting क्या होता है? It's a share of the children under age 5 who have low height for their respective age, which refers some of the chronic undernutrition. Then lastly, if I say about child mortality, तो वो क्या है? The mortality rate of children under the age of 5. So based upon these values of the 4 indicators, the Global Hunger Index determines the hunger on a 100-point scale, where 0 is the best possible score, that is no hunger, and 100 is the worst. And each country's GHI score is classified based upon its severity, that is from low to extremely alarming. So यहाँ पे, if I see about the country like India and its association with the global scenario, so this fight against hunger is dangerously off track. Also, food security is under assault on multiple fronts today. Inequality is rising. So we can see that the hunger levels are highest in countries or continents like Africa, South and Sahara, and South Asia, where world regions were hugely dominated by a huge sum of the undernourished people. So if I see about this Indian scenario, since 2000, India has made a substantial progress, but still there are areas of concern, particularly regarding the child nutrition. And therefore, we could not see that यहाँ पे जो हम लोग का betterment है through some of the good ways, though we have come a level up, but still यहाँ पे हम लोग को और बहुत कुछ करने का जरूरी है यहाँ पे. Because जो India इसका GHI score है, which has decreased from this 2001, it is considered alarming as well as very serious condition for our country. So today, even the Ministry of Women and Child Development, though they are criticizing such number of reports being unscientific, therefore the assessment process may not be correct. Lekin we have seen about the current initiatives made by the government of India. तो आज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट 2013 के तहत बहुत सारे जगहों पे फूड सिक्योरिटी का एक प्रोग्राम चला रहे हैं, बी इट द पोषण अभियान, बी इट द ईट राइट ईट इंडिया मूवमेंट, प्रधानमंत्री मातृ बंदोदय योजना, फूड फोर्टिफिकेशन, देन मिशन इंद्रधनुष, इंटीग्रेटेड चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट सर्विस स्कीम. तो ये सब में we could see about that the populations are targeted so that the distribution system could be well affected in that scenario. तो इसीलिए ये ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स अभी न्यूज में है, जस्ट बिकॉज यहाँ पे इंडिया का रैंकिंग घट गया है, तो ये बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट बन जाता है अब फॉर द अपकमिंग एग्जाम्स विथ रिलेटेड टू द रेस्पेक्टिव एमसीक्यूज. तो देख लीजिए ये, ठीक है. चलो नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. इलेक्टोरल बोन्स रिवीलिंग फंड सोर्स. तो ये जो इलेक्टोरल बोन्स है जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज के तहत रखते हैं, ठीक है. सो इफ आई सी अबाउट दैट व्हाट आर इलेक्टोरल बोन्स, तो द इलेक्टोरल बोन्स we could see about that they are purchased anonymously by the donors, which are valid for around 15 days from the date of issue, and the State Bank of India is authorized to issue and encase these bonds. So this electoral bonds, only the political parties registered under the section 29A of the ROPA 1951, that is the Representation of the People Act, and have secured not less than 1% of the votes polled in the last general elections to the House of the People or the Legislative Assembly are eligible to receive electoral bonds. So today, the Supreme Court directly asks the government कि whether the electoral bond system reveals the source of money, कि पैसा कहाँ से आ रहा है, ये सोर्स बताइए आप लोग पहले. तो ये भी पूछा गया है कि उसका ट्रांसपेरेंसी बनाने के लिए, एब्सोल्यूट ट्रांसपेरेंट बनाने के लिए आप लोग सोर्स बताइए, क्योंकि टुडे वी हैव सीन वेरियस नंबर ऑफ कंसर्न्स विद रेस्पेक्टिव टू इलेक्टोरल bonds, because the contradiction to its basic idea, क्योंकि the central criticism of the electoral bond scheme is that it does the exact opposite of what it means to do, that is to bring transparency to election funding. For example, critics argue that the anonymity of electoral bonds is only for the broader public and opposition parties. Also, this is a source of extortion or corruption, because the fact that such bonds are sold via government-owned bank, that is the SBI, leaves the door open for the government to know exactly who is funding its opponents. And also, it's directly a blow to the democracy, because the voters will not know which individual company or organization has funded which party and to what extent. So therefore, we could see that यहाँ पे, though we have got some of the fundamental right, that is the right to know, especially in the context of election, which is also an integral part of the right to freedom of expression under Indian Constitution. So this is totally against the free and fair elections. And this implies that a government in power can leverage this information and disrupt the free and fair elections, which is also a basic fundamental rights amongst the individuals. It also makes rise the crony capitalism, which is an economic system characterized by close, mutually advantageous relationship between the business leaders and the government officials. तो यही इसी कारणों के लिए we could see the battles directly are going in the top courts about the transparency that is needed in the political parties, and which is also come under the ambit of the RTI, that is the right to information. So therefore, there is a need for effective regulation of this political financing, along with some of the reforms to break the vicious cycles of corruption and erosion of quality of the democratic polity. So the voters can also help bring in substantial changes by demanding awareness campaigns, because if voter rejects candidates and parties that overspend or bribe them, democracy would move a step higher. So therefore, to make it accountable and transparent, यहाँ पे जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के द्वारा पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को यहाँ पे आंसर डायरेक्टली मांगा गया है कि आप लोग बताइए कि गवर्नमेंट को बोला गया है कि आप लोग बताइए कि ये जो सोर्स आ रहा है, इस सोर्स को आप लोग दिखा सकते हो या नहीं, कि वेयर फ्रॉम यू आर डायरेक्टली कलेक्टिंग दिस इलेक्टोरल बोन्स एंड व्हाट इज द सोर्स ऑफ दिस इलेक्टोरल बोन्स, ये बताइए सुप्रीम कोर्ट को, टू मेक दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ट्रांसपेरेंट. ठीक है, तो ये एक छोटा सा इशू था अबाउट दिस इलेक्टोरल बोन्स. चलो नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. IMF bright spot forecast. तो यहाँ पे the IMF says about the India's changing policies of the international relations today. तो यहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड भी थोड़ा बहुत इम्प्रेस्ड हो गया है अबाउट दिस इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. तो इंडिया is directly approaching with its various reforms or its various approaches during this time period, because we have seen that in the recent time period of the 2020 and 21, especially the global world experience various number of transformational events. And we can see that nowhere more than in the geopolitics of the Indo-Pacific, which is changing at multiple gears and levels. And the view is that the rule-based international order is a remote possibility even in this upcoming year. So today, the world is challenged with various number of problems, be it the rise of the authoritarianisms, be it China, okay, which has abandoned the one country two system policy, striping Hong Kong. तो ये सब जो इशू है, फिर उइगुर का प्रॉब्लम का इशू है, ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशंस के अगेंस्ट पे है, चाइनीज एग्रेसिव टुवर्ड्स द ताइवान एरिया, फिर रशिया का एग्रेशन टुवर्ड्स द यूक्रेन, ओके, देन द करंट अनरेस्ट इन कजाकिस्तान, ठीक है, देन तालिबान रिटर्न टू पावर इन अफगानिस्तान, एक्सपांड इन चाइनीज डोमिनेंस इन एवरी स्पेयर. Then we could see about the border issues associated with this country like India. Then the economical default of the countries, be it Pakistan as a country, be it Bangladesh as a country, be it Sri Lanka as a country. So there needs to be a flexibility. तो यहाँ पे IMF के द्वारा डायरेक्टली बोला गया है इंडिया को कि लाइक you are directly making some of the policies which can directly tackle such number of problems that today the whole world is directly facing. सो देयरफॉर यहाँ पे जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इन द इंडियाज फॉरेन पॉलिसी है, इंडियन इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी है, जो हम लोग मॉनिटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी जो हम लोग का फ्रेम करते हैं, सो यहाँ पे आईएमएफ के द्वारा बोला गया है कि दिस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट that India finds some of the rational answers to a rush of problems that it cannot keep on the back burner for much longer. So जो भी यहाँ पे हम लोग को काउंटराइजेशन कर रहे हैं, so we have to go for various number of bilateral or multilateral links so as to make the partnerships, be it the Quad, be it the I2U2, New Quad, be it the role of the EU, ASEAN, everything needs to be well done so that India could fulfill its humanitarian duties during, even after the pandemic which made the whole world collapsed. So therefore today यहाँ पे IMF के द्वारा बोला गया है कि like this IMF is focusing much more towards India's growth forecast, and which we can see that in every major countries will face recession just because of the COVID pandemic, but India will not face any form of recession or any form of economical deprogress. तो यहाँ पे इंडिया का ग्रोथ होता रहेगा और इंडिया विल बी सून बिकमिंग अ $5 trillion इकोनॉमी बाय अराउंड 2025. अगर मान लो 25 तक नहीं हुआ तो एक दो साल के अंदर वी कुड सी अबाउट अराउंड 26-27 तक हम लोग $5 trillion इकोनॉमी आराम से बच जाएंगे. ठीक है, तो ये अबाउट IMF यहाँ पे बोला गया है. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं INS अरिहंत. तो ये हम लोग का एक लाइक वी हैव सीन अबाउट दिस INS अरिहंत कैरिंग अ मिसाइल टेस्ट. तो ये जो INS अरिहंत है, इसका नेम सेक में जो संस्कृत है उसमें बोलते हैं वैंक्विशर ऑफ द एनिमीज, अरिहंत का मतलब. ठीक है, और इसका जो बिल्डर है ये है शिप बिल्डिंग सेंटर विशाखापट्टनम इंडिया, एंड इट वाज लॉन्च्ड बाय द टाइम ऑफ अराउंड 2009 ओनली. ओके, और इसको कमीशन किया गया था कब? अगस्त 2016 में. तो इसका होम पोर्ट है विशाखापट्टनम, एंड दिस क्लास एंड टाइप इज अरिहंत क्लास बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल सबमरीन. ओके, तो वी कुड सी अबाउट that this INS Arihant, ये एक पनडुब्बी है, it's directly a submarine. So this submarine is a nuclear powered ballistic missile submarine. So this vessel is around 6,000 ton, which was built under the advanced technological vessel. So today यहाँ पे एक जो एक्सपेरिमेंट है, ये हम लोग एक्सपेरिमेंट जो मिसाइल टेस्ट है ये हम लोग ने किया, which was very much successful in launching a submarine launched ballistic missile, जो उसको बोलते हैं हम लोग SLBM. So the missile was tested to a predetermined range and impacted the target area in the Bay of Bengal, and with a very high accuracy. So all the operational and technological parameters of the weapon system have been validated, and a successful user training launch of this SLBM by INS Arihant is significant to prove the crew competency and validate the SSBN program, which is a key element of India's nuclear deterrence capability. So obviously, a robust, survivable, and assured retaliatory capability is in keeping with India's policy to have credible minimum deterrence that underpins its no first use commitment. ठीक है, तो therefore ये जो मिसाइल और ये जो अरिहंत के थ्रू से हम लोग ने जो मिसाइल लॉन्च किया है, through this we will directly help out every number of enemy threats that is hovering around the Indian Ocean region. So today, if you go for this type of missile test, then obviously we could see that slowly and slowly India could easily take over some of the important nations. So that ये जो surface to surface ballistic missiles है जिसको मैंने बोला था SSBM, तो ये surface to surface ballistic missiles से हम लोग enemies को इन सरप्राइज ले सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो ये जिसका रेंज है अराउंड 750 किलोमीटर, तो यहाँ पे इसको टेस्ट किया गया है. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट रिक्स टू लिफ्ट रेपो रेट. तो यहाँ पे रेपो रेट के बारे में बोला गया है. ओके, सो वी ऑल नो अबाउट द रेपो रेट which stands for repurchase option, and it's a rate which the central bank lends to other banks by buying the securities with an agreements that the bank will buy back on a certain date. तो ये जो रेपो रेट है, तो यहाँ पे अभी बोला गया है कि अभी रिस्क है अगर हम लोग रेपो रेट्स को और थोड़ा बढ़ा दे तो, because if repo rates are directly increased, then slowly and slowly we could see every forms of inflation will directly takes place. ठीक है, तो रेपो रेट जो रेट है in which the RBI lends money to the commercial banks, so it can have a wide number of impact on the economy of our country, because ये impact on demand है. ठीक है, then it could make some of the high EMIs for the people. It could go for some of the this जो loans लेते हैं हम, वो loans बहुत महंगा पड़ जाएंगे, and this may leads to various number of geopolitical tensions. Also, the high inflation and low growth will cause a lot many number of problems associated with this country. So there is directly a concern about the protracted supply disruptions that have rattled the global commodity and financial markets. So obviously, the central bank is now focused on withdrawal of this accommodative stance, and the forecast of a normal monsoon should also boost such number of ideas in the coming times. तो एक छोटा सा न्यूज था अबाउट रेपो रेट कि यहाँ पे रेपो रेट को इमीडिएटली बढ़ाना नहीं चाहिए. ओके, बिकॉज दिस रेपो रेट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म, बिकॉज इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द पॉलिसी रेट टू. क्योंकि आज अगर रेपो रेट हम लोग बढ़ा दे, देन वी कुड सी दैट एवरी फॉर्म ऑफ पीपल विल डायरेक्टली सफर, क्योंकि तब डायरेक्टली जो बैंक से हम लोग जिससे लोन लेते हैं वो बहुत हाई रेट में हम लोग से टैक्स चार्ज करेंगे. दैट इज द जो इंटरेस्ट चार्ज करते हैं फॉर अ रेस्पेक्टिव लोन, ये बहुत ज्यादा हो जाएगा, एंड द होल बर्डन विल डायरेक्टली कम अपॉन पीपल व्हिच मे लीड्स टू सम फॉर्म ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन. ठीक है, तो ये एक छोटा सा न्यूज था अबाउट रेपो रेट. लास्टली वी से अबाउट इंडियाज डीप टैक एंड स्ट्रेटेजिक फंड. ठीक है, तो अगर मैं बोलूँ अबाउट इंडियाज डीप टैक, ठीक है, तो वी नो अबाउट दैट दिस डीप tech startup, that is the phrase, it does not have a precise definition, but there is a broad consensus on what constitutes the deep tech. See, the deep tech startups arise from a research based disruptive innovations and innovations with record to some of the labs, research institutions, and which solve the problems and challenges, supposedly the recycling sewage to get clean water at an affordable cost. Also, a low cost solution at scale for curing blindness. We can also see the affordable solutions for treating diseases such as diabetes, dementia, cancer, etc. Creating also an alternative to lithium ion batteries, also by low cost satellite launching system, जो मैंने कल बोला था आपको about the NGLB. तो ये जो parameters है, today we could see that India need to have such number of deep tech startups in our country, because without such things we are facing a lot many number of problems today in our country, because this deep tech startups will address various number of complex socio-economic challenges, be it from agriculture, healthcare, transportation, education, energy, सब में solve करेंगे. Also, we could see about the solutions associated with the deep tech contributing in the union's social the sustainable developmental goals, that is the SDGs. Also, if you see about that today, more and more number of people who do not have got enough associated knowledge about technology, तो वहां पे ये deep tech startups बहुत ज्यादा help करेंगे. But today we could see that these deep tech startups are facing a lot many number of challenges just because of a longer gestation period, बिकॉज ये जो स्टार्टअप है इसको संभालते संभालते एक पैर पे खड़ा होने के लिए इट रिक्वायर्स अराउंड 5 to 8 years. ऑल्सो यहाँ पे जो मोर कैपिटल चाहिए, जो यहाँ पे बोला गया है अबाउट अ केस ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजिक फंड, तो दिस स्पेशलाइज्ड टैलेंट होता है, कैपिटल होता है, एक्सपर्ट नॉलेज होता है, वो सब इस डोमेन में बहुत कम है. So therefore, the risk of failure is high at every stage for a deep tech startup. And this is usually higher in the case of other types of startups. And it is because the startups has to work backwards and find a real life problem that is worth solving. तो यहाँ पे इसका validation बहुत ज्यादा important है. So जो low risk यहाँ पे low investments है यहाँ पे, so we should directly cooperate with well. तो यहाँ पे वही बोला गया है कि in this deep tech technological cases, India needs to build up a world-class deep tech capabilities in certain sectors today in our country. Be it agriculture, be it health, be it education, सब में हम लोग को deep tech चाहिए. Because without this deep tech, we could see that ये जो देख रहे हो यहाँ पे robotics और quantum, phonetics, advanced artificial intelligence, biotechnology, blockchains, तो इन सब में हम लोग को deep tech चाहिए. अगर यहाँ पे हम लोग का contribution बढ़ गया, then obviously we can earn, we can sell, we can produce, and we can also make the motto of going in for Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and Sabka Vishwas, which eulogizes about the less government as well as more governance. तो देखो आज पहले अभी जैसे बात कर रहे हैं ये लोग, तो अभी देखते हैं हम लोग बाद में कि इसका रिजल्ट क्या निकल के आता है. ठीक है, हाउ द गवर्नमेंट डायरेक्टली इम्प्लीमेंट्स द फंड एसोसिएटेड विद दिस डीप टेक टेक्नोलॉजीज. ठीक है, ये तो एक छोटा सा अपना एडिटोरियल पार्ट था. Okay, so that's all for today. We can see some of the 5 questions or the 5 MCQs which you have to attempt. Okay, the answers you will get in tomorrow's PDF. One mains question is there. So do attempt those questions and also do join our WhatsApp group as well as our Telegram group from the link given below. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you and Jai Hind.